Am I the asshole for dropping my girlfriend after she had intimate relationships with her own sister? Seriously? I mean, if you have to even ask this question, you are the arsehole. But not for the reasons you might think, because you're a loser cuck. This is how desperate the average man has become in 2026, questioning himself after breaking up with a girl who had intimate relationships with her own sister. Hi, 26-year-old here, and I ended my relationship of 5 years after I caught my partner, 25-year-old female, cheating on me with her own sister. To give some details, our relationship started when we met through a mutual friend. Our relationship had always been good, and I had never noticed anything weird, but clearly I'm blind as shit. Yes, clearly you are, and also very stupid. It was a usual night when I noticed her phone was blowing up, and even though I knew it was wrong to look through her phone, I was tempted and took a peek, only to realize many messages were from a Discord. We do not use Discord. I clicked on the messages to realize they were responses to a video she had posted. I'm gonna spare you the details, but it was disgusting. I clicked on the video and was met with her and her sister pleasuring each other while laying on the bed. I was genuinely so disgusted I almost puked. Not only that, I was furious. At that moment, she was in the bathroom, and I was unsure of what to do, so I drove to my family house and stayed there for the night. She called me multiple times, but I turned off my location and phone. The next day, I decided to confront her and end our relationship. When I got to our place, I noticed her sister's car was there too, but I couldn't give a flying fuck covers with shit about them. What the hell does that mean? Anyway, I walked in and saw her in the kitchen and her sister was sprawled out on the sofa. I walked up to my girlfriend and told her that we were done for good and not to bother contacting me ever again, and that I would not be paying for the house or anything anymore. The second I said that, she started crying her eyes out and asking what she did wrong, to which I responded, "You fucked your own sister." She cries harder and slapped me across the face and said some mean shit about how I didn't care about her or loved her. Holy shit. So this girl gets found out for having relations with her own sister while in a relationship and still manages to make the guy the problem. Absolutely disgusting. But not at all surprising. That is textbook covert narcissism, also known as female accountability. I was hurt, offended, and angry, so I just walked out. A day has passed since, and I can't help but wonder if I was wrong and overreacted. This is unusual behavior for her. English is not my first language. Pardon the errors. English is not the OP's first language. Makes sense because I can't imagine someone from a Western culture questioning themselves after breaking up with a girl because she committed incest with her own sister. I mean, that is literally so filthy, it's a crime. But of course, in some non-Western cultures, incest is not viewed with quite the same lens. I mean, cousin marriage is literally normal and legal in the Middle East. In certain places, but still, this person must be severely mentally deranged, or perhaps they're just terminally pathetic to doubt themselves. I mean, what on earth have I just read? Am I the asshole for getting mildly upset at my wife's black dildo? She constantly makes jokes about it, calls it Tyrone, and has a smaller white one that she called my name. I'm mad at the comparison, I guess, but fine, whatever, but also mad that she's fetishizing a race. When I tell her this, she teases me and says I'm jealous. I talked to my cucked friend, and he said it's pretty much how he became an involuntary cuck, and that it's only a few years before I'm in his shoes. I'm seriously thinking about throwing it away. Or is she right, and I'm just jealous? First of all, what the actual fuck? This guy's friend is an involuntary cuck? Is that even a thing? I mean, why would he not just leave the relationship? What a disgraceful guy he is. And also, the OP, this guy is already unsavable. Imagine this guy's life. Sub 5, probably disgracefully unattractive, but not quite to the point of being deformed. Most people probably look at him and feel some kind of disgust, but not outright horror and shock. He's worked his whole life, slaving in school and college and university, university, and now his workplace, being bossed around all day, just to get settled for by his natural looks match, who was clearly busy in her university days being consensually violated, if you know what I mean, by Tyrones who wouldn't commit because they were just using her, as we know. And of course, after being accustomed to the treatment from these far superior men throughout most of her life, she is already missing them and resenting her beta bucks deluxe and trying to cuck him. Disgusting. Texted the guy trying to get with my wife. 3 years ago, my wife made out with her work friend while drunk. She hardly ever gets drunk. It's probably been less than 10 times in her life. I've got my own issues, and we've both reconciled over this issue long ago. Now, 3 years later, in the past weeks, he has told her via text twice that he wishes they could make out. She has told me when he says such things, and I've worked on my shortcomings, going to meetings and being sober. Today, I couldn't help myself and texted the guy. Can I politely ask you to stop asking my wife to make out with her? She does let me know when these comments occur. She is obviously an amazing person and politely pivots the conversation, but it would be awesome if she wasn't put in that position. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? He continues, of course, this is never a good idea. He texted her immediately, then said she would like to call me on her way home from work. I sent her the screenshot of what I sent. Am I the asshole? I'm sorry, what? Why the fuck is your wife still texting him? So let me get this straight. This guy is so brain dead that he thinks he might be the asshole when his excuse for a wife is sitting there happily texting a man she made out with and cheated with years ago and is still actively friends with. And then she just casually informs her husband every time he does it because the guy has been doing it multiple times, as he said. Why would anyone tolerate that? She clearly doesn't respect him at all. Otherwise, well, firstly, she wouldn't have made out with him in the first place and cheated, but she also wouldn't still be texting him and maintaining a friendship either. She is literally cucking this guy. The absolute rubbish these utterly pathetic, contemptible beta buxers will put up with truly does astound me. I mean, think about it this way. If there is no God, no afterlife, and no reward for temporary suffering, all we have is this tiny, finite amount of time to enjoy the very best the material world has to offer before we permanently disappear back into the abyss of nothingness that we came from, never to feel anything again. And some people will endure the most torturous and humiliating and pointless excuse for an existence during this once in an eternity period. How can anyone ever justify that kind of nihilistic existence to themselves? It truly astounds me.